Security control. Physical security control, ito yung isang information na kailangan bigyan ng proteksyon ang mga bawat data. Na yung pag-aari na marami tayo matututunan kung ano ang mga dapat natin gamitin ng mga mechanics upang mag-protection ng bawat data natin. Kaya ng mga monitoring software or firewall, ito yung maaari natin, para maaari natin ito mai-control sa mga teknolohiya na para maiwasan natin na makuhanan tayo ng mga data at ma-secure natin ang mga data natin para sa atin. There are seven major process of security rules. Ito yung extreme temperature heat code, pangalawa gases, war gases, commercial vapors, and liquids, water, and chemical. 4. Living organism or viruses, bacterial, people, animals, and insect. 5. Projectiles or carnival objectives is motion, powered object. Number 6 is movement, collapse or sharing, shaking, vibrations, and separation and slide. Number 7, electrical surge or magnesium, static electricity, and physical security control. Isa sa pinaka-bilang ng mga physical access control ay isang angkop sa pamamahala ng mga galaw ng mga tao sa loob ng mga isang organisasyon. Particular na rito yung mga control ng kanilang physical access. Habang ma-access natin mga system sa isa, ay magkakaroon tayo sa isang lokal ay magaling na tulong dito yung pagkakaroon ng mga internet dahil sa mga ilan ng mga technology ay ginagamit upang makontrol ang physical access sa ginagamit nito na makontrol ang lokal ng pag-access. Kabilang ng mga biometric or smart card at wireless at iba pa. Meron naman dito tinatawag na badge, isang identification card na kaya rin sinusuot sa isang nakikitang location upang mabilis natin mag-verify ang kanilang autorisadong membro. Maring pakita o hindi ang badge dahil pangalan na nakasuot dito. Meron din tinatawag na biometric lock. Isang lock na nagbabasa ng kakaibang biological attribute gaya ng mga fingerprint, iris, or palad. Pagkatapos ay ginagamit ito ang input na yung bilang susi. And CCTV or closed circuit television, isang video na capture at recording system na ginagamit upang masubaybayan ng mga pasilidad. Or meron din tinatawag na contact heartbeat sensor, isang alarm sensor na dinidisenyo upang makita na tumaas ang presyo ng or contact. Meron din na electromechanical lock. Ang electromechanical lock ay isang maaaring tumanggap ng iba't ibang input bilang mga key, gaya ng magnet, strip, or mga ID or identification. Meron din tinatawag na false secure lock, identification or ID, mechanical lock, motion detector, meron din tinatawag na thermal detector, vibration sensor. When implement physical security inside and outside facility, this some of the measures control like wall fencing and gates. Ito yung mga ilan sa mga pinakaluma at pinaka-maasahan na element. Pader or bakal. May tinatawag din na guard control. Meron din tinatawag na dog. Yung aso naman ay isang malaki pakinabang sa atin kasi dahil sa pantalas nilang pang-amoy or pandinig. Decal or buds. Ito naman yung dinadala bilang isang identification or ID. Meron din tinatawag na lock key. May two types of lock key. Meron lock mechanics, isa itong bagay na metal na susi. Meron din, at yung pangalawa is electromechanical, isang lock na dinadial. Meron din tinatawag na mat trap, electronic monitoring, alarm and alarm system, computer room and wiring closet, and interior walls and doors.
Fire security and safety. The most important security concern is the safety of the people in an organization. Physical space workers customer, clients, and others. The most serious threat to the safety is fire. Fire accounts for more property damage, personal injury, and death than any other threat. Physical security. It is imperative that physical security plans implement strong measures to detect and respond to the fire and fire hazard. Fire detection and response. Fire suppression. Fire suppression system consists portable, manual, and automatic apparatus. Portable extinguishers are used in a variety of situations where direct application of suppression is preferred or fixed apparatus is impractical. Portable extinguishers are much more efficient for smaller fires because triggering an entire building sprinkler system can cause extensive damage. Portable extinguishers are rated by the type of fire they can combat. Class A fires. These fires involve ordinary combustible fuels such as wood, paper, textiles, rubber, cloth, and trash. Class A fires are extinguished by agents that interrupt the ability of fuel to ignite. Water and multi-purpose dry chemical fire extinguishers are ideal for this type of fire. Class B fires. These fires are fueled by combustible liquid and gases such as solvent, gasoline, paint, liquor, and oil. Class B fires are extinguished by the agents to remove oxygen from the fire. Carbon dioxide, multi-purpose dry chemical, and halon fire extinguisher are ideal for this type of fire. Class C fires. These fires can cause de-energized electrical equipment or appliances. Class C fires are extinguished with non-conducting agents only. Carbon dioxide, multi-purpose dry chemical, and halon fire extinguishers are ideal for this type of fires. Never use a water fire extinguisher on a Class C fire. Class D fires. These fires are fueled by combustible metals such as magnesium, lithium, and sodium. Class D fires require special extinguisher agent and techniques. Class K fires. These fires are fueled by combustible cooking oil and fats in commercial kitchen. These fires classified as Class F in Europe and Australian environment. This fire requires special water, mice, dry powder, or carbon dioxide agent extinguish. Fire detection. Fire detection system fall into two general categories: manual and automatic. Manual fire detection system include human responses such as calling fire department and manually activate alarms such as sprinklers and gaseous system. Organization must care when manually triggered alarms are tried directly to the suppression system because false alarms are not uncommon. Organization should also ensure the project security remains in a place until an employee and visitor have been cleared from their buildings and their evacuation has been verified. During the chaos of fire evacuation, an attacker can easily slip into offices and obtain sensitive information to help prevent such as intrusion. Fire safety program often designated a person from each office area to serve as a floor monitor. There are three basic types of fire detection system: thermal detection, smoke detection, and flame detection. Thermal detection system contains of sophisticated heat sensor that operates into two ways. Fixed temperature sensor detect when an ambient temperature in an area reaches predetermined level, usually 135 to 165 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 to 74 degrees Celsius. Rate rise sensor detect an unusual rapid increase in the temperature within a relative short period of time. Smoke detection system are perhaps the most common means of detecting a potential dangerous fire, and they are required by building code in most residential dwelling and commercial buildings. Smoke detectors operate in one of three ways. Photoelectric sensors use infrared beams to activate the alarm when interrupted, presumably by smoke. Lumination sensors contain a small amount of harmless radioactive materials within the detection chamber. Air respirating detectors are sophisticated systems that are used in light sensitivity areas. The third major category of fire detection system is the flame detector, which detects the infrared and ultraviolet light produced by the open fire. This system compared to scan area, the light signature to the database of on flame, light signature to determine whether to activate the alarm and suppression system. Gaseous emission system. Gaseous or chemical gas emission system can be used in suppression of fire. They are often used to protect chemical and electrical processing areas as well as facilities that house computing system. Typical configuration of such system is shown. Gaseous fire suppression system are either self-pressure and must be pressurized with an additional agent. Until recently, the only two major types of gaseous system were carbon dioxide and helium. Carbon dioxide extinguishes a fire by removing its supply of oxygen. Unfortunately, any living organism that also rely on oxygen are similarly extinguished. As a result, carbon dioxide systems are not commonly used in a residential or office.
Failure of supporting utilities and structural collapse. Failure of supporting utilities such as heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, power, and water have significant impact on facilities' safe operation. Extreme temperature, humidity levels, and interruption of water, sewage, and garbage services can create vulnerability systems designed to protect information. Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. The operation of the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system can have dramatic impact on information, communication, and other sensitive systems. Controls must be monitored and adjusted to reduce risk to information system. Temperature and filtration. The optimal temperature for computing environment and for people is between 70 and 74 degree Fahrenheit. Properly install and maintain system keep the environment within the manufacturer recommended temperature range. Modern computer equipment is designed to work better in typical office environments, so they need to provide their air conditioning. Filtration is no longer as important. Next is humidity. High humidity levels create condensation problems, and low humidity levels can increase the amount of static electricity in the environment. Integrated circuits in a computer are designed to use between 2 and 5 volts of electricity. Any voltage level above this range introduces a risk of microchips damage. Ventilation shafts. Moderate security precaution. Ventilation shaft can be eliminated as a security vulnerability. Most ducts to individuals' rooms are no longer than 12 inches in diameter. If the ducts are much larger, security team can install wireless mesh grids to compartmentalize the runs.
Management and conditioning. Delta conversion online UPS, uniterable power supply. Ito yung tinatawag na isa sa katulad ng mga doubling convention online UPS. Either pwede may kasama itong delta transformer na pwede makatulong sa paggawa ng mga inverter uses gaya ng mga double conversion online UPS. Isang doubling conversion online na UPS ay pangunahing pinagmumula ng mga kuryente ay inverter. Pangalawa, ground fault circuit interruption. Line interactive UPS. Ito ay may ibang disenyo kesa sa model ng UPS. Sa una and line ng UPS na mga nakapaloob sa bahagi ng mga standby na modelo sa palitan ng isang parehas ng mga inverter as converter. Okay, meron din tinatawag na standby Ferrosenat UPS. Ito yung pagpapabuti ng mga standby na design ng UPS. Ito ay offline pa rin ng UPS. Pangunahing pinagmumula ng kuryente at mga paghahati ng UPS bilang backup ng mga baterya. Standby or offline. Isang offline na backup na baterya nakakakita ng pagpaputol ng kuryente sa paggamit at i-activate ang mga transfer switches na nagbibigay ng pangyarihan mula sa mga baterya sa pagitan ng mga ADC to AC converter hanggang sa maibalik na normal ng kuryente ang isara ng computer. Meron din tinatawag na ground and average unitary power supply. Ang pangunahing pinagmumulaan ng kuryente para sa isang organisasyon ay kagamitan sa mga kumpanya. Kadalasan ang electricity utility na nagsisilbi sa mga lugar kung saan natutupon ang mga gusali.
Emergency shut-off. One important aspect of the power management in any environment is the ability to stop power immediately if the current represents a safety risk to people or machines. Most computer rooms and wiring closets are equipped with an emergency power shut-off, which is usually a large red button that is prominently placed to facilitate access and that has a cover to prevent unintentional use. These devices are the last line of defense against personal injury and machine damage in the event of flooding and sprinkler activation. The last person out of the room hits the switch to stop the flow of electricity to the room, preventing water from short-circuiting the computer. While it is never advisable, recovering the system if the power was off when they got wet. The minimum hard drives and other sealed devices may be recoverable. Some disaster recovers companies specialize in the water damage recovery. Water problems. Another critical utility is water service. On the other hand, lack of water poses problem to the system, including the fire suppression and air conditioning system. On the other hand, a surplus of water or water pressure poses a real threat. Flooding and leaks can be catastrophic to paper and electronic storage of information. Water damage can result in complete failure of computer system and the structures that house them. Therefore, it is important to integrate water detection system into the alarm system that regulate overall operation of the facility. Structural collapse. Unavoidable environmental factors or forces of nature can cause failures in the structures that house the organization. Structures are designed and constructed with specific load limits, and overloading these design limits inevitably result into structural failure, which can cause personal injury and even loss of life. Scheduling periodic inspection by qualified civil engineers enable managers to identify potential dangerous structure condition before a structure fails. Maintenance of facility system. As with any piece of security process, the implementation of physical security must constantly documented, evaluated, and tested. Once the physical security of the facility is established, it must be diligently maintained. Ongoing maintenance of system is required as part of the system operation. Documentation of the facility, configuration, operation, and function should be integrated into disaster recovery plans and standard operating procedures. Testing provides information necessary to improve physical security in the facility and identifies weak points.
There are three methods of data interception: direct observation, interception of data transmission, and electromagnetic. The first method, direct observation, requires that a person be close enough to the information to breach confidentiality. The physical security mechanism described in the previous section limit the possibility of a person accessing unauthorized areas and direct observing information. However, there is a risk when the information removed from a protected facilities. If an employee is browsing company documents, overlands in a restaurant, or takes work home, the risk of direct observation rises substantially. A competitor can more easily intercept vital information at a typically employee's home than at a secure office. Incident of interceptions such as shoulder surfing can be avoided if employees are prohibited from removing sensitive information from the office or are required to implement strong security at their home. The second method, interception of data transmission, has become easier in the age of internet. If attackers can access the media transmitting the data, they needn't be anywhere near the source of the information. In some cases, the attackers can use sniffer software to collect data. As you learned in the previous chapters, other means of interceptions, such as typing into a LAN, requires some proximity to the organization's computers or networks. It is important to network administrator to conduct periodic physical inspection of all data to ensure that no unauthorized stuff have occurred. If wireless LAN are used, the organization should be concerned about eavesdropping. The third methods of data interception, electromagnetic interception. Sounds like it could be from the Star Trek episode. For decades, scientists have known that electricity moving through cable emits electromagnetic signals. In 1985, scientists proved that computer monitors also emitted radio waves, and that image on the screen could be reconstructed from this signal. Most modern computers are shielded to prevent interference with household and office equipment.
Securing mobile and portable system. Ito ay nangangailangan ng mobile computing na higit pa sa seguridad kaysa sa karaniwang mga infrastructure or the organization premises. And the most mobile computing system is the laptop, tablet, and cards, smartphone. May mahalagang impormasyon na stored within them. At ito yung mapadali ang pag-access ng user ng mga pag-secure na pasalidad ng mga kumpanya. Nag-organize organisasyon gumagamit ng maraming pag-iingat ng mga users like the conversion to allow to portable device na maaalala, ibigay ang kanilang mga username at password dahil ito ay provide faster and easier access. Madalas, magkakaroon ng maraming account na may iba't ibang user at password habang ito ay nakakatuksong payagan na ma-detect or ma-device natin itong store authentication creditable. There have the following list from the Metropolitan Police of the District of Columbia to how to prevent your laptop from being stolen or damaged. Una, yung huwag natin iwanan yung mga device natin na nakalock sa sasakyan. Kahit na ang sasakyan natin ay nasa iyong drive, daan or grabe, ay huwag niyo itong iwanan na maglaw kahit nakalock ang sasakyan niyo na hayaan. Pangalawa, dalhin niyo yung mga device na isa-assign din mo po na carrying case o briefcase o bag kapag gumagala. Tungkol sa mga paglalagay ng mga item na ito ay isang case na hindi sa inyo para sa mga computer ng isang agarang at maging alert po tayo sa mga magnanakaw na magkakaroon ng mahalagang kagamitan. Pangatlo, huwag umalis sa isang conference room nang wala yung laptop or personal na electronics. Dalhin mo sila lahat. Pang-apat, i-lock ang iyong mga device sa isang ligtas na lugar kapag hindi ginagamit. Gumamit na cable lock na bumabal sa paligid, isang mesa o sa binti ng mga upuan. And then, maglagay ng mga natatanging marka ng pintura tulad ng mga marker upang gawin ng iyong mga laptop kakaiba ang madali matukoy. At syempre, pag-isipan bumili ng mga system ng alarm para sa pag-alarma sa pagnanakaw ng mga institusyon na ginagamit para sa mga laptop at iba pang mga electronics. Na kung mga computer, ano natin siya, i-backup ang iyong mga information gamit sa mga cloud-based storage or portable media gaya ng CDs, DVD, flash drive, or iba pang mga backup na media. Itago ang mga disk sa isang lugar na ligtas. Yun ang dapat nating tandaan.
Special consideration for physical security. An organization must account for several special consideration when developing a physical security program. The first is the question of whether to handle physical security in-house or to outsource it. As with any aspect of information security, the make or buy decision should not be made lightly. The benefits of outsourcing physical security include gaining the experience and knowledge of these agencies, many of which have been in the field of decades. Outsourcing unfamiliar operations always free an organization to focus on its primary objectives rather than support operations. This level of trust is often the most difficult aspect of decision to outsource, because the reality of outsourcing physical security is that an outside agency will be providing safeguard at the organization administers only marginally.